Subway Fresh Take Hotline, Dell Demps, New Orleans Hornets GM, with us. Dell, appreciate a little bit of time. I understand that when you have the number one pick, it's your job to talk about exploring options, and you got to look at this and that. But come on, man, it's just you and me, and you know the drill. You guys are taking Anthony Davis, right?
We got to explore options.
Come on. Yeah, I get that. That's your job, but ultimately, he is. Let's just say it this way: he's got a unique set of skills, does he not?
He does. He's high on our list. He's high on our board right now. How's that?
That's fair enough. And when we had him on as a guest yesterday, he discussed the work ethic that Coach Cal instilled in him, and he seems to have that blend of humility and talent that I would imagine that you're looking for. If hypothetically he was the guy that you would take, how quickly do you believe, Dell, that he could be a guy that could really impact your franchise?
I don't want to put that pressure on him right now.
Okay.
I think it's important right now that, we get the chance to develop, and, we really want him to enjoy the process. Mm-hmm. And, I don't want him to feel like he's a savior.
Understood.
I mean, when you bring a guy to your franchise, I want him to be a great teammate and a great leader. And, those things, are the things I think will be the first thing instead of, put him in, a pressure situation.
Fair enough. Dell Demps, our guest, GM of the New Orleans Hornets. And Dell, look, we all know that this was an unusual year for so many different reasons, given ownership, etc. And there's this perception about how much autonomy you have in terms of being able to do your job. So to those that ask, how much autonomy do you have right now to do your job?
I mean, I don't think it's any different than, any situation in the NBA. I think each team is run differently, but in the grand scheme of things, I think most teams make decisions as an organization. Mm-hmm. And, we're no different. It's just the only difference is, our owner was David Stern. And, in the NBA, before you make decisions, you always talk to your owner, you talk to your coaching staff, and you talk to your whole group. And, that's just the way it usually goes in the NBA.
How would the Benson ownership change your responsibilities in terms of direct reports or this or that? The Times-Picayune mentioned Loomis is potentially having a role. Is that going to happen?
I think it's a little premature right now. I think, the best thing is going to happen. I think once we get the sale to finalize, I think we'll sit down as a group, and I think, we'll get our organizational structure and processes all. We'll complete those then. I think right now it's too early to say.
Adrian Wojnarowski, who writes for Yahoo, who's one of the most respected guys covering any beat, had an interesting article that mentions conspiracy theories and this and that. And I've read a bunch of articles about the folks in the room that it made it sound like they were having fun with you and laughing about how'd you guys get this done? What do you make of all this conspiracy talk, Del?
Well, there were 13 other teams in the room at the time. There were some representatives from Ernst & Young. And when those balls pop up, they just read those numbers off.
Right.
And so, it's easy to say conspiracy theory, but the reality of it is I would think if you talk to the teams that were in the room and the representatives there, there wasn't a conspiracy. There wasn't any balls that were heavier than the others. They're shot up through the air. It is practically impossible for that to happen.
Yeah, and as someone else pointed out yesterday on Twitter, and it must be true, right, on Twitter, I think 7 of the last 10 teams that had gotten the number one pick had less of a chance statistically than you, but just given the ownership situation and the way that it's gone this year, I guess the way I felt, Del, I don't buy it, but I guess I understand why people are always looking for some kind of angle. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and I say, it's fun to talk about that. It makes you raise your eyebrows, but I was in the room. I was there when the balls came up, and so I actually saw it, and actually got the balls after the lottery. So,
a keepsake.
Yeah.
All right, in our last minute here, let's get to the most important business of the day. Are y'all going to sort my man Gravis Vasquez out after his year? Are you going to break him off and get him some kind of massive deal?
How about a max contract?
I don't want you to be. I don't think Gravis would ask you to be hamstrung financially, because I'm sure he would. In all seriousness, I'm a Maryland guy and I'm happy for him. I thought he did a nice job this year with some injuries, and when he got a chance to play late, I thought he did a nice job.
He had a very good season. He's one of my favorite players. He's one of our core guys. The energy he brings, the passion he plays with. We're thrilled to have him. He had a very good season for us. He got to play a lot of starter minutes.
Yeah, he did. My man.
And he played very well. You know, he was a guy that a lot of teams called with interest about.
Well, you hang on to him because he's a gem. Hey, listen, I know you got things to do, and we appreciate you squeezing in some time, Dell. Congratulations on the number 1 pick, and enjoy the summer. And we lost him. That worked out well. Just how important is the home court in the NBA playoffs?